Hey, 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 welcome back to the Chiron Intensive. I am Kiera.
And I'm Zeta. Welcome back to episode 2.
Yes, the Chiron Intensive is a space where we dive deep into healing. Inspired by Chiron, the wounded healer, this podcast explores how our struggles can become our strength. It's about real talk, real growth, and creating community for young adults who deserve to thrive.
So, we are wrapping up this week's theme on identity and self image by discussing healing the fear of being seen. We titled this episode The Authentic Self Beyond the Narrative of Pain. So, in this particular episode, we are unpacking our insecurities and shame around visibility.
Yes. Some people grow up feeling invisible. Others grow up feeling painfully exposed. Either way, the result is the same. Showing up feels complicated. Maybe you learned that attention equals criticism. Maybe you were hyper aware of how you looked, how you sounded, how you were perceived. Maybe your identity felt scrutinized before you even understood it. You might struggle with confidence in rooms, feeling comfortable in photos, trusting first impressions, and believing that you actually deserve to take up space. This wound asks, is it safe for me to exist as I am?
Healing this means allowing yourself to take up space, not because you're perfect, but because you're human. It means softening your inner critic and recognizing that being seen is not the same as being attacked.
It's so true. Oh my goodness. I feel like I described myself already. Um, Visibility is not always a danger. It can bring freedom. It really does bring freedom. You
They
get
sure
away with
do.
so much when you're invisible. I'm not gonna lie. You really do. It's the moment that you become like viral or you become well known that you really have to worry about your reputation. But when you're invisible, you get away with so much.
No,
But
for real.
visibility is not always a danger. It can bring freedom. Oh, I was talking about invisibility, but visibility can bring freedom as well, right? But first, we are going to ease into this conversation with an icebreaker, my favorite.
I love me a
What
good icebreaker.
I really do like icebreakers, like even at work and stuff. I just like learning, or because some people lie during icebreakers. But I just like hearing their answers. Like one of my old coworkers told me that she always lies during icebreakers, and I was like, I
What?
don't blame you. It was the environment that we were in.
Oh, I got you.
Me, I didn't even participate at all. That's how bad the environment was.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not fun.
But
Like the whole
she
point of it is to be fun.
yeah, but she was actually really smart because she was masking her she was masking her disdain for the for the position. So she
So
was actually really smart to do that.
wow, I got you. So she was trying to basically play the game so she could
Yeah.
win.
Play the game the long way, collect the check. She really was.
Man.
It is, and you know this about me. It is very difficult for me to be fake or phony. It's really hard.
Yes. And that's something we can relate with because it's kind of like it's just if you're gonna know something's wrong pretty
My
quickly.
facial expression is going to tell way before I do.
For real.
But what is one thing about your appearance or your personality that you used to hide, but you don't hide this anymore?
So, um, for me, right, it was kind of like my, I guess, like directness and assertiveness, because the thing is, I would try to hide it, but I couldn't. So then it was just kind of like I learned how to make sure I'm polite, but I, I don't, I stopped hiding that. So, of course, like, I wish I could let me see what is a good example. Like I think before, because of like how like you're socialized, especially like if you're, being raised as like a female, right? Like you're
Yeah.
told that you cannot just say just no, right? Like
Yeah.
you have to be like no and da 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 da. So then I think like one day it was just kind of like, and I think it was also because I was observing my middle sister, the one who's the black sheep, and they always just be like, oh, she talk rough, she talk rough, but then they would just
Mhm.
be like, no, she don't talk rough, she just
Right.
said what she needed to say.
In
She
a
wasn't
real way.
rude in her real way. And then I was
Yeah.
kind of like, I'm the same way. I just was harder on myself. And, I was because being the first daughter and I was the people pleaser and the one who was taking care of everybody and the kids, like, it was kind of like, oh, I put myself down and hit it. But then it was kind of like, no, I'm not going to do that no more. It does come out a little bit at work. You got to be careful at work. Because some people could take it in the way. I completely understand that. But it's just more so, I think, because I have that personality and because I don't try to like hide it and push it down more,
Yeah.
whenever somebody, for example, at work, um, if a patient was disrespectful to my coworker, although she might be more likely to placate and be like, okay, if I just one look at her and if I see a little red in her face, I'm like, ma'am, that was very rude and disrespectful. We do not tolerate that in our office. And they'll be shocked that I'm the one to say, little old me going up to an elder, right? Somebody who's probably 50, 40, telling them, they might look at it
Oh,
as me
I'm good for
schooling them.
letting the old person know when they have crossed the boundary. They
Yeah.
don't like me.
And it's like, it's never disrespectful. Us being assertive isn't being disrespectful, but some people can look at it as like you're
It's
challenging them. And I told
yeah,
myself, I'm not hiding that no more. Like
but
it
it's
has its
respectful to
tools.
yourself.
Exactly.
It's respectful to yourself. And that's what
Exactly.
matters, right?
That's what matters.
Yeah. And I kind of touched on this in the previous episode. Please go check out episode 1 if you didn't already. I kind of spoke on this, how I'm very gender non-conforming. Sometimes I'm very mercurial, if that makes sense.
Oh, I like that word.
Yeah, because I can be a tomboy and I've been like this. Like even my mother contributed to this and she doesn't realize it. So on Easter, she would my aunt was actually a pastor of a church. So we would go to church every morning. I would have on a super cute dress on Easter morning. I would have on a super, super duper cute dress with some nice patent leather shoes and those
Ooh.
socks, those lace socks.
Yeah, but that goes a little bit up the ankles and every like
Yes.
little girl has.
Yes. And I had my hair done. Okay. One thing my mother did was make sure I was done up. Okay. However, here's how she contributed to my to my gender nonconforming. At the end of that service, my shoes were switched into Jordans.
Oh, girl.
I had on Jordans. And I would either we would go to the circus or we would go to somewhere, and I would like, if I didn't change, sometimes I would keep the dress on and just change into my Jordans, but other times I would have on like a jean suit, like a super cute jean suit, like a jean jacket with some jeans.
Ooh.
And my Jordans.
Mm-hmm.
Straight up tomboy. Like, tell me that's not mercurial. You have on a dress 1 minute and then you have on a jean suit the next minute with some Jordans.
Mm-hmm.
That's very mercurial. And I think that is what started everything.
It was kind of like it was there all along and
It
just came out
was.
in itself. Yeah.
It was always there. I promise you, the moment that I'm dressed up, I'm gonna FaceTime you because I know you've never seen me in that way. You've always seen me with a baseball hat. You've always seen me with my hoodie. You've always seen me with my headphones. Like I'm never done up. And I felt so bad when I was doing interviews. I made it a point for this year. I'm going to put more effort into myself. I'm going to make this a conscious effort to focus on myself. Every single morning, I used to get up and just take care of myself. I would do a facial and then I would just do a body scrub. And then I would take my time, play some music, do my makeup, and it doesn't have to be anything heavy, just natural makeup, do my hair, like put my effort back into myself, because I felt so bad doing interviews with because for wellness facilitators at Grounded Stars, you just had to send a video. But for the social workers, I was meeting them through video call or whatever. And I just felt so
Oh.
bad because I wasn't done up. I just felt I was like, oh, but at the same time, I was super busy, right? So now I'm giving myself 2 hours every day to focus on me. It is so intentional. But yeah, that's one thing that's about my appearance and my personality, because I'm very gender non-conforming. I'm very much that. Even when I was in a traditional relationship with my children's dad, we kind of switched roles. He was the gentle he was the gentle one in the relationship. He
Oh,
really
really?
was. He
Uh-huh.
was, until we started fighting, but he was the gentle one. He really was. He was the gentle one. Um, he was very much more patient than me.
Oh,
I
so he
remember
was
one time.
nurturing in a
Yeah,
way.
yeah, yeah. I remember one time we were making pancakes and I was getting so frustrated because we had the wrong pan, and we were trying to figure out, instead we were being lazy and not going, literally lived right next to a Walmart, but we didn't feel like leaving the house that day. We were trying to have a at home day.
Mm-hmm.
And the pancakes that I was making, it wasn't coming out right. And I was so angry, and I was trying to figure out why. And he was like, Kiara, all you were supposed to do was add water, because it was it was one of those complete, when it's
And it's
complete,
just add water.
you can either just add water or just add milk. I like did the whole from scratch. Like, I'm thinking I had to add the eggs and do this, and I was wondering why it wasn't coming out properly. And it was because I had added too many ingredients. I was just supposed to add water, because we got the
Wow.
wrong pancake mix to begin with, because I usually get the Aunt Jemima. Oh, they don't have that anymore, but you know
What
which
they
one I'm
call
talking
it?
about.
Pearl something. Pearl.
I
Pearl
don't
milling. I got the syrup right in front of me. Pearl and
know.
milling.
Yeah, that was my go-to, but they didn't have it that day, so we just got like some basic store brand.
Ah, like
And
that buttermilk brand.
yeah, we never got that again. But that just was an example of my gender non-conforming ways. And like, even like all of the relationships that I've been in, no, let me take that back. The two most important relationships that I've been in my life, the men have been more nurturing than me, right? Of course I'm nurturing towards my children. Of course I am. I think having my children made me much more feminine and more dainty. But now that I'm a single mom, it's made me more masculine. Like, now being like, you get what I'm saying? It's
Right.
like I have to learn how to balance my masculine energy with my feminine energy, because I have literally the same amount. Like, it's not like, how most women have more feminine energy than masculine, and more men have more masculine energy than feminine.
Mm-hmm.
I literally have both at the same time clawing out of me. So I have to learn how to balance them.
You're
And I
not
have
like in
to,
a mold, so it's like
yeah,
yep.
yeah. So that's one thing that I used to hide that in the South, because you know why,
Oh yeah. We
right?
know how to say yeah.
In New York, I really can be myself in that regard. I don't care. In New York, it's very easy to be invisible. And I was just talking about this. It's very easy to be invisible. Nobody gives a damn. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. Nobody cares, right? But in the South, you have some very nosy people and very judgmental people.
You know how they say like people up north are kind but not nice, but in the south
Mm-hmm.
they're nice but they're not kind because it's
Exactly.
double intention sometimes. Yeah.
Yes, that nasty, that nice, nasty, nasty, nice, whatever it's called.
Mm-hmm. Nice nasty. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's all. I mean, I could keep going for days, but I'll leave it at that.
I love that we had such a great moment to just shake it all out.
Yes.
So to get started, we want to talk about like that fear of being visible, right? The fear of being seen is a protective mechanism used to shield individual from potential pain or perceived threats to their self-worth. So if you
Yeah.
reflect on, like you being seen, you all of a sudden just feel like you're putting your guard up because you're protecting yourself.
Yeah, one of my ways of doing that is wearing a hoodie all the time and literally having my hood on. Like, I don't just wear a hoodie, I have my hood on. And it could be like 90 degrees outside and I will have on a hoodie.
Yes. And mine's it was honestly just making myself small because I was like, okay, if I'm not going to be seen, it's less likely that I'd be bullied, and it'll be less likely that I have my own quirks, and then nobody could when it'll be harder for people to catch on that I could be like possibly autistic. Like I could hide it. I could just hide it, just don't talk, don't speak, be small. And it protected me in a sense when, in middle school, I never got into a fight. People outright told me they didn't like me in my face, but they never said they wanted to fight me. But man, I was miserable.
Yeah. Yeah. I used to wear sunglasses a lot. I don't know what stopped me from wearing them, but I used to always hide something on my face. Like, it's either I have my hood on or I have sunglasses on. It's one or the other.
And your
Or I have a
shield.
baseball cap. Like, well, for one, I've always been taught to protect your crown. Like, that's like a spiritual thing. I've always been taught to protect your crown, especially in spaces you don't feel good in. Always protect your crown in some way, shape, or form. So that, I guess that may be a part of it as well. But then I also am in the midst of developing a hoodie line. So I mean, I guess I'm helping other people with with their, if they choose to be invisible, because we have a choice. We can choose to be visible and we can choose to be invisible. And there's power in both of those.
There's power in both of it. And then it's like you have to protect yourself in some type of way at different areas of your life, it's just like you don't want to also for it to kind of like go against you or hurt you in the future. Cause like like imagine me just choosing to still be small.
Yeah.
And choosing to keep quiet and never use my voice. Because again, like I said in the last episode, I wouldn't be where I am not being able to use my voice and, using it when I need to. When I don't want to be seen and whenever I will, yes.
Yeah. You wouldn't even be here.
Apple, please, with a cheeseburger on the side. Yep. And I'm out because I'm just trying to leave. At the grocery store or something, I'll make myself small in the grocery store if I'm trying not to be seen.
Yeah. And one way that people will try to hurt your feelings is by pretending that they don't see you or hear you, because there's so much power in making you feel invisible. If you're not choosing to be invisible in that moment, and someone sees that in you, what they will do to disempower you is by making you feel invisible, making you feel unheard, right? That kind of circles back to the silent treatment that we spoke about last time.
Right.
Like I said, when I was younger, the silent treatment, it really used to hurt my feelings, especially when it was a family member. But now I don't care. You give me the silent treatment, we may never speak again, because I'm not breaking that. You chose to be silent. You're going to stay silent. It's that simple. I'm not chasing after you.
Right. Because it's a power play. It's like,
it is. They're trying to disempower you. Yeah. And center, back here. It's true. It's true, though. They are trying to disempower you. And that's usually the first sign of an abusive relationship.
Correct.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. The roots of this fear, the fear of being seen, can stem from past traumas, such as emotional neglect, critical parenting, bullying, traumatic loss, and abandonment. And this is in capital letters, rejection. Right? Societal expectations can also play a critical role in this, because the hardest part about being a human is that we are naturally social beings, right? So if you are constantly feeling rejected, constantly feeling like you don't belong, you're no longer feeling needed, and that leads to so many other things.
Because then you don't feel like you value, like
It
you're valuable, and that's like
Mhm.
so psychologically ingrained in our
Yeah.
development as humans.
Yeah, it can easily make someone feel that they shouldn't be here anymore,
Mm-hmm.
you
Oh
know?
my gosh, that just reminded me. Like I just before we got in this call, I watched this video of this little Korean boy. Like I think he was 4 years old, and he would play by himself for hours. They'll be like, "Oh, what's so about your dad?" "Oh, my dad, he just gets angry easily, and I just and then I don't like that." And then they was like, "Okay, what about your mom?" "Well, I don't think she loves me." And he, because they just weren't giving him attention, and when the times they did, they were yelling at him, and then he just plays by himself for hours. And then when he started crying, he kind of like told the listener, mind you, this is a 4-year-old boy. He told the listener, and I'm paraphrasing, like, oh, like kind of like he was trying to hold back the tears, making himself small so that you don't see him cry. And it's like, you're 4 years old. It's okay for you to cry, like,
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, like he's not
Yeah.
being seen as a little boy, like he's not
Yeah.
being seen, not being played with, not being acknowledged, like, and he's by himself in his developmental years and just
Yeah.
playing by himself. It was
Oh,
so sad. And I was
it's
like,
not
oh,
cool. And
yeah.
then that ties all right back into gender norms, right?
Mhm.
Little boys are not supposed to cry. Little boys are supposed to, man up and take. No,
Right.
everybody can cry.
It's
Now,
natural.
right. Now, should you become violent and start hurting people or calling people names? No, but you are free to express your feelings. You are free to cry. You are free
Exactly.
to express your anger in a non-violent way,
Hmm.
right? There's
Hmm.
nothing wrong with that, regardless of what gender you are.
Exactly.
And deep down, you truly want to be seen and accepted for who you are. It gets very tiring wearing a mask. It gets very tiring pretending to be something or someone you are not. It is a natural human need to want to be accepted and seen for who you are choosing to be. And if you experienced a lot of emotional neglect, like the little Korean boy, that's emotional neglect.
Hmm.
You may have mistaken acceptance under conditional terms like getting better grades, high achievements, or simply pleasing others. No matter the trauma, you end up believing that showing up as yourself means you will automatically be rejected, which leads to isolation, leads to feelings of inadequacy, leads to always feeling judged, and mistreatment. Because when you are constantly feeling this way about yourself, it's going to show on the outside. And then you're going to attract people who will take advantage of that.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
Yep, exactly. And then it's kind of like because of that self-image, like wound, that type of wound, I notice it's even much more harder for you to self-regulate. Like, how can you self-regulate when you do not feel good about who you are and how you're seen, because the reality that you're experiencing, right, is putting you in position where you don't feel valued in the first place. So um it's deep. It's deep.
It
And,
really is.
and then it's like it's so important to like ask yourself, like, what if it doesn't have to be this way, and you can genuinely have a fulfilled and authentic way of life, whether you choose to be visible to get what you need done to feel good, and then or being invisible to protect yourself while still in your inner knowing being happy with yourself. So it's like, I'm mentioning some niche things, but you could be a fan of anime, because I know sometimes people can be bullied or put down or isolated because of their enjoyment of that. Or
I love me some anime.
my
I want to see
boyfriend is
more.
into
Yes, I want to see more Black characters in anime form.
me
Do we like?
too. And
Yes.
I love seeing, and I'm not even an anime fan just because it's not in, but I'm like, I love that my sister enjoys anime. Both of my sisters do. And I don't think my sister went to DreamCon, I think. I don't think she did, but my friend of mine, she's Puerto Rican, she did. Um it's just cool seeing that because like, yes, have fun with that. And then let's like enjoy it because you're human. You can have the things you can enjoy. You don't have to be scrutinized for the things that you enjoy that brings you joy that doesn't hurt nobody. So it's things like that. If you're into K dramas, if you like to crochet, if you are part of the LGBTQIA plus community like me and Kiara, like, or you're from a different culture, because I know sometimes if you're in a different culture and you're certain spaces where your culture is not welcome, and you know, maybe somebody be like, oh, you smell like this food, da, 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 da. I don't care. You can still take up space because you are allowed to. Like, this is a part of you. You can expand on it, and then you can also define yourself beyond those things as well.
Absolutely. And one of the great things about New York is it is such a melting pot. I literally spoke to 5 or 6 different people from different backgrounds just today. And that's like every day.
Oh, that's so
like
cool.
it's such a melting pot. However, I will say you better learn Spanish. You better learn how to understand Spanish. You don't have to speak it, but you need to understand because it is taking over. That's all I'll say. But yeah, there's so many different cultures here, so many different ethnicities, and so much you can learn from if you will put down the ignorance, because that's the problem. Usually you are dealing with ignorant people. The people who will disempower you the most are those who are ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I'll say regarding that. But we do want you to come across as your best self, no matter the insecurity, because it doesn't matter how old you are. Everybody has insecurities. I don't care how perfect someone looks, how much they make themselves seem strong and confident. Every single person has insecurities or has insecure moments, right? And first impressions are essential. So like I said, I have made it a point for the rest of this year, for the rest of my life, to focus more on me. I think the beginning of my 20s, I was very much into my girly phase. And like I said, I was taking 2 hours every single morning, just taking care of myself, listening to music that I liked, and just doing me, taking care of me. And I have to get back to that. So if I am making this oath to myself, is that right? Is that the right word?
Yep, that's an oath. Yep.
An oath to myself. I want everyone who is listening here to take this same oath, right? And just put yourself first every single day, whether that's for an hour, 2 hours, however long you are able to, even if it's just 5 minutes. Prioritize yourself in some way, shape, or form. Why? Because we as humans, we gouge each other quickly, and we make immediate judgments on how we should proceed with one another. And how you feel about yourself, it radiates to other people. Other people can see how you feel about yourself. So if you are giving off, this is what I meant about you may be attracting individuals who take advantage. If you are giving off the energy that you are insecure, you are unworthy, you feel unworthy, or you feel just beat down and done with life, you may attract somebody who will purposely lift you up just to let you back down, because it makes them feel good, right? So you just want to be mindful of those first impressions that you make with people, because you don't want to ever give off an energy that you can be taken advantage of. That's just a safety note. Leave a bad impression. If you connect with someone and you feel like you are coming off either too strong, or you are coming off in a way that is leaving a bad taste in their mouth, you feel like that person may not want to interact with you anymore, it's going to stick with you. It's going to keep replaying in your head. So what you want to do is leave a good impression. And these good impressions can lead to many doors that open for you, because again, you want to be authentic. You want to be yourself. You want to make sure you're attracting the right people in your life. And it doesn't mean that you should have to feel inauthentic. It doesn't mean that you have to give into your insecurities. It just means to prioritize yourself and make sure that you are connecting with individuals who see the best in you and not see the hurt in you.
That is beautifully said, Kiara, because
I
this
try.
that's beautifully said. And despite like that being a real thing of just like how life works, sometimes people are going to surprise you. They're going to make harsh judgments about you no matter what you do. You could leave, you could have great self-expression, you're feeling great. Maybe you look great with pink hair against your brown golden skin, and you have a nice eclectic way of carrying yourself. So one person might think that, oh, you're really confident, I love your style. The other person just might think, oh my gosh, you dress like this and you don't care about yourself, and you probably don't care how you come across to people. Because guess what, that was my parents. And funnily enough, the girl with the piercing and maybe the colored hair or whatever, like one of us, me and my sisters, one of us have a piercing, one of us have tattoos. And the judgments my parents would be saying about people across the street, I'm like, I'm not that. You have kids
Oh,
who have those things. My mom still doesn't have a tattoo. I'm not telling you guys to have tattoos because I know some of you guys are still not of the age to probably legally get tattoos. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying people are going to make those judgments off of those impressions, right? They're going to do it regardless, right? You still want to have the courage to show up as yourself, because if you know that you showed up as yourself, that you were I want to make sure law-abiding citizen, someone who contributes positively to your social circle, your community. If you did that effort, that was just all you were expected to do, and you just know how most people may react. Therefore, continue to think highly of yourself, because it's beneficial that you will come across as someone that has that high self-esteem. So just be mindful of monitoring your behavior, and keeping a balance between social interactions is helpful. And the goal isn't to be people pleasing, it's to be people understanding. So personally, I educated myself more on like general politeness and social etiquette to help ease myself into expressing myself more, because without that, I could have put myself into more scenarios where I made myself in a position to be misunderstood. So there's certain niche topics I'm not just going to talk about with various people. And of course, me as a human, to protect myself, I do make judgments a little bit ahead of time. So if I'm interacting with an older woman, I'm not going to say certain things, especially if she
but
is
I
going
am an older woman in your life.
Well, you are, but you're still young. I mean, like 50s, 60s.
I'm a young spirit. I do.
You still are to me. Like, even though you say it, I'm like, Kiara, 30 is not old.
I'm not 30. I'm about to be 37.
Oh my gosh, it's still not old. I don't care.
The little grandma emoji.
Oh my goodness.
Not funny. But
yeah.
But no, can we circle back to the tattoo? Can we circle back to the tattoo judgment?
So, yeah.
I have an unfinished phoenix on my back. I have a huge tattoo that takes up my entire back, and it's only the outline, right? So to strangers, obviously they don't see my whole back, because why on earth would I be walking around with my whole back out, right? Mm-hmm. So they can only see the top of it. So they're like, "Oh, that's super nice." Like if I'm going to the beach or something, like they'll be like, "Oh, that's dope. What is that?" Like, right? Mm-hmm. However, one of the things that has been thrown at me to try to put me down, I'm not going to say who, but it was a family member. One of the things that was thrown at me to try to put me down was, your tattoo, you have a freaking dragon on your back. No, it's actually an unfinished phoenix.
Get that correct.
Do we know what that means? It means I died and I was reborn, right? It
Rising
means
from the ashes.
exactly. It means all of the stuff that you have put me through, that this entire family has put me through, I made it through. And guess what? Now I'm even more beautiful than I was before.
Exactly. Beautifully said.
Now, the only
Beautifully
reason
said.
that it went unfinished is because it hurt so much.
Girl, yeah, it's your back, girl, and you did a big
So
tattoo.
much. I was so scared to go back for the shading because it's literally just the black outline. And he was like, okay, you have to let this heal. And then you come. I was like, oh my God. Do you want me to come back? And now, because first of all, this is a 10-year-old. No.
It's
This is
10
like
years old.
no, it's more than that. Oh, I'm so old. This tattoo is 15 years old. It is
Wow.
15 years old that it has gone unfinished. And what I was thinking of doing is actually turning it into a garden of like going to an artist that you know how they have tattoo artists that specialize in covering up old tattoos.
Yes.
So I'm thinking of going to one who will because I still love my Phoenix. I still love it. It'll still be there. I'm just thinking of covering it up with a garden.
It's transformative too, because then you can tell that story of like rising from the ashes and it cycled into a garden growing life.
Yeah. And then because I have a butterfly on my arm, and then I have music notes behind my ear. So then I'm thinking I will do the garden to cover up the Phoenix because that's half of my back. And then on the other side where I don't have anything at all, I might put some more butterflies.
I love how you're tatted up. I was like, I didn't know
Oh
you were like
yes,
completely
but it's
tatted
it's
up.
like professional. Like it's all in places that can be hidden. That's
Right,
why.
right.
I also have one on my shoulder that says "Know your worth" because I had to remind myself a few times. Know your worth, and we're gonna actually talk about that next episode.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Y'all better stay tuned.
Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. But yes, a sign that you are experiencing shame because somebody says that to you that you think you're close to, that hurts, right? And it's not a stranger. It's somebody who's close to you saying that to you that stings, you know? And strangers actually are like, "Oh, that's super dope. What is it?" And they actually sit down and listen to the background. And they're like, "Oh, I love that." Like the fact that I can connect with a stranger more than my own family, it speaks volumes. It speaks
Yes,
volumes,
it
right?
does.
And it made me feel ashamed at one point. We have broken out of that. It made me feel ashamed back then. It did. I'm not going to lie. It did. And I just want to speak to those who deal with this forever feeling of feeling shame, like you walk around feeling ashamed and feeling judged all the time. That can really just break your spirit. And you know, I know a lot of people do not listen to Beyonce. I understand. I know. Please don't come for me. But one of the best songs from Beyonce is Break Your Soul. Is it Break My Soul or Break Your Soul? Do you know?
You won't break my soul. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. I don't care if you don't like her. Just listen to that song.
It is a very uplifting
It's
song. I'm not
very
gonna lie. Yeah.
motivational, right? It's very motivational. It is very like, yes, with an A.
And a bunch of S's at the end.
Yes. But a sign that you are experiencing shame is that you distance yourself from others. And I do this too. I did this. Let me speak in because I don't do this anymore. But a sign that you are experiencing shame is that you distance yourself from others by masking parts of yourself, self-sabotaging, and or abiding by perfectionism, which is it is unobtainable. I want to make that very clear. No one is perfect, right? You are trying to fight the shame associated with having your vulnerabilities seen. So when I take off my clothes, you are that didn't sound good. When I am
Pause.
when I am unmasking myself, you get to see all of my tattoos, and the fact that someone that I thought I was able to be vulnerable with says something like that, it was harmful. It was harmful to me. And I know there are so many people out there who deal with shame and just feeling like you feel guilty just for existing.
And that's what hurts so bad, because it's kind of like existing is like a very persistent thing until you pass. So just
Mhm.
like feeling horrible with your existence while you're actively existing. I don't know if it like makes sense what I'm saying, but it's like it just daunting, and it weighs on you over and over because you can't just stop existing. And you're yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know if that made sense, if you were like, if that was following, if anybody's following with what I was saying, but it's just continuing. You're like continuing your life is moving forward with that shame. And it doesn't feel
Yep.
good to be stuck with that shame as you're actively living your life.
Absolutely. It really is. And you should never apologize. How many times have you walked past someone and you said sorry?
I did it probably today. I'm not gonna lie. I was at Dollar
Right.
Tree and I did that.
I have to catch myself like, sorry for what? For walking? For
Right?
taking up the space that my body takes up, like physically takes up?
Exactly.
Why am I apologizing? I
Exactly.
always catch myself when I'm
Like,
doing
what
it.
did I do wrong? And they'll just be like, what did I do wrong? Nothing. Okay, why? Why are we
Yeah, we have
apologizing?
to please catch yourself if you are ever apologizing for physically taking up space.
Yes, I have to do that so many times. So many. I have to start like stopping myself. And you kind of have to you got to have the audacity to let yourself exist. Have the audacity, because you realize it's not that audacious to exist, to live.
Exactly. Everybody else has the audacity. Why can't we?
Exactly, exactly. So it's just like you just be honest. Ask yourself. And that is like a question. This is a question I genuinely would ask myself when I'm on this journey of my identity and standing where I am at in my identity, is what is the true cost of me not being authentic to myself, and proceed from there. Because I told myself, okay, what is the true cost of me not being myself? I'm like, I know the true cost is like I was gonna waste my time in college. What was if you're not gonna like, I was in a very social degree, theater, and it was like, if I'm not going to allow myself to express myself, what was the point of me being in a theater degree in college? Like, I was just like,
Mm,
okay, that's the cost.
mm,
And then it's like,
mm.
what's another cost? I would not have met the amazing friends that I have now, like I'm still chatting up with, like, like people that I love. I wouldn't have met them. I wouldn't have connected with them and done all these things. I'm like, okay, what is the true cost? Okay, well, right now it's in the present. If I don't think about this, and that in the future, if I want to meet this goal, I have to be able to put myself in positions to align myself with the right people that are going to be healthy for me, healthy for my career, healthy for my family, or healthy for my future family. Like, or even just like, what is the true cost, right, of me being authentic to myself? If I'm being truly to myself, this one person that disrespects me every day or takes advantage of me, or is the reason why I have to pay for the cost of something that they did, they might
Mhm.
just leave my life. You know what? That doesn't sound too bad. That's not a bad cost. Like
The
you,
true cost of me not being authentic to myself back when I was graduating high school was the fact that I put myself in school when I did not want to go to school and put myself in extreme debt because I had nobody
wow.
helping me with financial anything.
You see that part.
And
That's
I
yes.
told you I could have started my business back then. I could have started what I wanted back then and it could have been established by now.
Right, right.
I did not need to go to school for this. I mean,
Ahead of
I
all the
mean,
stuff that's happening in the world too.
right. I did not need to go to school. I started in a dramatic writing program. I didn't have to go to school for that. I then transferred to an English program. I didn't have to go to school for that. I did, I didn't need to be in school. I could have been working at a job for years and years and years and had my business and just started my business earlier, developed my business and been good. Back then, I never had a problem finding a job. So
your Miss Get a job too.
I'm always gonna be on somebody's roster, right? So at the end of the day, what did I need to be in a classroom for? Half of the time I was in a classroom, I still taught myself because of my ADHD. I'm able to sit there and focus on you for 2 hours. So then I had to go home and teach it to myself.
Oh my goodness.
So
oh my goodness.
Let's be honest here.
Yes, it's a form of being honest with yourself. That's another
because being the one who I went to school because I told you the whole story about me not wanting to go to school and what my grandmother and my mother said, what they expected that was going to happen was that I was going to be pregnant because that's what they did. Right. So because that's what you expected to happen because of your own experience or your own choices, because those are choices, right? These are choices that you chose, and nothing against you at all. However, I wanted their validation. I wanted their pat on the back. I wanted to prove to them that I was different. I was going to be something. And had I stopped caring then and just continued on the path that I was on, because I was always working full time. Always.
Even during school.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. I never sat there and asked for a dime from these people. So why did I need to sit in a classroom and teach myself all of this stuff?
Because you were going to find a way. You had the drive and the tenacity. You didn't need it. You were doing it for other people.
Exactly. Because it's not for everybody. I'm not saying that, don't go to college. I'm saying have a plan. If you do not have a family that is rich, a family that is helping you, please find a job, even if it's a part-time job. Find a job with tuition reimbursement as a benefit so that you do not have to sit here and be in student loan debt.
It's not fun. It's not fun, y'all.
Because my children, I don't care how I do it, they're not going to have any student loans. If they choose to go to school, because again, I'm never going to be one to push them to do that. But if they choose a career that requires them to go to school, we're going to figure out a way for you to go to school and not have any student loan debt.
Beautifully said, because student loan debt is, it's like a curse.
It is. It literally is a financial curse.
Literally.
Yes. Whew, child. So here are some small acts of being seen safely. So remember, prioritizing yourself, number one. Go back to prioritizing yourself, even if it is for 5 minutes a day that you have to lock yourself in the bathroom, because as a mother, I have had to lock myself in the bathroom many times. So I understand.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Sometimes I will just run the shower water and just sit on, just lock the door. Just to be left alone. You know what I mean? Well, you don't, not yet. You don't know. But you get what
I got a cat.
You got a cat.
It's kind of close. She don't talk, but she meows, and she loves to meow for really long times. And she's just meow, and I'm like, oh gosh.
But yes, Zeta and I are going to go through some small acts for you. So please feel free to grab a pen and paper and write these down. Pause as you go. Whatever you need to do. This will always be added to our blog post on Substack. So take a look at that as well.
Correct.
So the first one we have is always have self-compassion and take care of yourself inside and outside. Record a video of yourself speaking on a topic you are passionate about and keep it to yourself. Even better, share it with someone you trust. Make sure you actually trust them
Yes, please.
though. And watch it back. I love that one. That's a good one.
Because then it lets you reflect on it. Like even when like I do self tapes for like when
Yeah.
I audition for stuff, it
Yes.
kind of is like you when you watch it back, it's like, okay, one don't okay, yeah, I hate seeing myself, but I'm like, why am I being hard on myself? And then it's
Yeah.
like I can objectively look at what I'm doing and stuff like that. So it's
For
little actor's
sure.
tip. That's still a life tip too.
Yeah, because actors have to take a lot of confidence type of classes, confidence building classes. Even if it's not called confidence building, it really is. It's
It
confidence building.
is
Yeah.
exactly. Also, another thing, even though surprise, surprise, but it does help when you genuinely ask someone, how are you? And you listen, you kind of start to see how people react with the world. And it kind of puts you in an observing position and then kind of like lets you step outside of yourself a little bit and be a less what's that word? And I'm trying to find self-critical, because then now you're stepping outside of yourself, you're not being critical, and you're genuinely listening to how somebody is doing. um
Yes.
and then what I also did here and there, I don't do it as often these days, but you can try eye contact practice videos on YouTube. It's a little weird, but it's kind of like it kind of forces you to kind of like, because some for me eye contact is like a form of vulnerability, so doing that kind of like preemptively kind of like tricks your brain a little bit and kind of like what you call it, kind of works that muscle a little bit. Like you're going to have to be making some type of neural pathway doing that, because I feel like that's what helped, how it helped me.
For sure. And if you are still in school, try taking a theater, acting, communications, or speech class. Communications was actually my first major. I was English. It was English route, but I focused more on the communications aspect of everything. And yes, it very much helps. Very much helps. It helped me with my voice projection. So super cool.
Yes, yes. That voice projection, I think it also be when you know how to voice project, it kind of like forces you to sound a little bit more confident too, in a way.
Yes, yes. I do have to watch it sometimes because people can take it the wrong way. And also dedicate some time in your schedule to go all in on a topic you love and or are passionate about. Make your goal to focus on it, not perfect it. Like give it about 5 minutes to 10 minutes a day. If you are rich with time, because a lot of people are rich with time and they don't even realize it, make it 1 hour a day, 2 hours a day, whatever works for you.
Yes. Also, you could offer someone a sincere compliment, you know, kind of like giving that offering to someone else, again, back into like stepping outside of yourself. And then it creates a moment of engagement, of connecting with someone and kind of like sharing that commonality. You observe that they have something pretty cool that you like, and they are also observing that you are pleased with what they have, what they're bringing to the world, and that feels good. Also another thing, right, because seeking help can feel very vulnerable, it can feel like something that hurts, especially if people kind of like broke it out of you when you were younger. But a way to combat that is ask someone for help with something that's minor and low stakes, right? Literally make it your job to once a day ask someone for help with something as simple as, hey, can you grab that cup for me across the counter over there, pretty please? It works that muscle. It's great for when you just feel vulnerable and you feel exposed just for asking for help, because man, I struggled with asking for help so bad.
But
I still kind of do, but it's not as bad as it was last year and 2 years
yeah.
before.
Yeah, but the people who struggle with asking for help are either those who deal with toxic independence because they have been forced to be independent, right? Because when they do ask for help, they never get it.
Yep. That's
And
me.
have you ever, and you know, I've been noticing this in the past year of my life up until like now, literally till today, are people who pretend to be helping me when they're really not doing a darn thing.
Oh, I hate that so much because then when you realize they're not helping, it makes you, it feels so bad and it can kind of like make you regress a bit. Like, uh,
It
yeah.
just makes me very monotone, and I take the kindness out of my interaction with them because I
Mm,
see you and I know what you're doing. You're full of
hmm.
it.
Oh.
Yes. But from here, oh, this was a great one today. It really was.
It
Um,
is.
yes, we always have good ones though. From here, we are wrapping up this week's theme. Well, this first, because it's different weeks, but um our first theme on identity and self image. This is also the end of our episode on healing the fear of being seen. Don't forget to check out Substack, please, 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 and subscribe. It is free. Our self image is where the internal becomes the external. We identified how these wounds manifest in our lives, identifying that the way to heal is to be self compassionate and make small, consistent efforts to be authentically ourselves. No more mask.
Correct. No more mask. So tell yourself out loud. And if you need to tell yourself this multiple times throughout the day, throughout the week, or the month, tell yourself that I allow myself to be vulnerable and supported at the same time. Okay, you guys? Also, the next week that we in our theme is going to be all about self-worth and stability, and we will kick off the conversation with an episode on our relationship with self-worth. If you felt this conversation, again, check out our Substack. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, share it with a friend. And then when we are back up and running on groundedstars.com, you can visit
Oh, it's
groundedstars.com
back
as
up.
well.
It's
It's
back
back
up.
up.
Back up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
However, you may see some changes along the way. I put it up, I put it back up, but I'm still making changes on the back end.
Awesome sauce.
Never done developing. That's just life.
Correct.
Never
That
done.
is just life. Correct.
All right. So this is it. Bye. Have a
Bye,
safe night.
y'all. Good
Bye.
night.